Let's be real. When was the last time you answered, "How are you?" with something other than busy? We wear busy like a badge of honor, but it's really just a sign we've stopped being present in our own lives. Busy is just motion, noise without meaning. Presence is power. And when you stop answering from your schedule and start answering from your soul, everything changes. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Star Potential, a podcast where we explore the meaning of our existence while having a few laughs and sometimes tears through stories from the road of life. I'm your host, Julie Jo Hughes. As a stage performer, my life is quite literally about song and dance. I believe that life here on Earth is a playground for discovery, not a contest to be won. We ask questions together like, how do I evolve my consciousness? And how do you sing a passionate ballad when there's an old guy in the front row with his balls showing? True story. Stick around for these fun conversations.
Hey there, Starlight. Welcome back to Star Potential. I'm your host, Julie Jo. Today, I would like to talk to you about being busy. Do you ever answer that when somebody asks you how you are? They say, "How are you?" How are you is really a question about your beingness, right? But so many times when I'll ask someone, how are you? They respond with busy, just so busy. I'm so busy. It's a little bit of a trigger for me. I tend to roll my eyes when somebody answers with that because, there are trillions upon trillions of stimuli at any given moment, right? But we get to choose which ones we consume. So when we say busy, I'm busy, that actually has nothing to do with a conscious life. So it basically tells me, oh, you're unconsciously moving through the motions of life. Okay. No judgment, just that's what it tells me, right? Because if you are purposefully going through your day with an intention in mind, then you chose those things that are filling your day, right? Even if it's indirectly. Did you choose to have 3 children? Did you choose to let them be enrolled in activities? Then all the full schedule you have today was through your choice, was it not? Maybe you didn't choose for them all to be on the same day, but to me, that's a full day, not a busy day. Just for me, the word busy implies that life is happening to you. You're just swept up in the momentum of what's going. Busy is just motion, right? But you choose what you want to partake in, and you can also choose what you don't want to partake in. That doesn't mean that conscious people don't also have very full days, but we look at it with a level of awareness, right? I'm taking responsibility for the fact that this day is very scheduled, very full of activities. But when you answer with just, "I'm so busy," automatically there is a resonance of, I'm a victim of this wave called life that is sweeping me up in it, and I don't even know where I am anymore. So busy is a state of mind. It's not a state of being. And you can choose not to be busy, no matter how full your schedule is, no matter how many things are on your calendar that day. Does that make sense? Busy is a state of mind. Presence is a practice. You can still have a very full day. Busy is just motion without meaning. Full is a life rich with chosen meaning. Busy is just noise. Abundant is in alignment. Busy fills your calendar. Alignment fills your soul. Busy is just motion. Flow is meaningful abundance in motion, right? And in the end, it's not about how many things are on your schedule that day. It's, do you have awareness of that? You can have a full day and choose to look at that with gratitude, right? Or you can choose to moan and complain about it. But you're probably the one that made the choices that led to that day being really full, right? And I'm not judging here. I'm just helping you see. Because everything that I talk about here is somewhere where I've been, okay? And so I recognize it because I've been there too. I also felt like, it's just hard to keep up. I'm just trying to do these things for the kids, and I'm trying to get out there and promote myself as a singer, and I'm trying to give myself to all these bands and make sure I go there for rehearsals, and I'm trying to practice on my own at home with my kids so that I can be ready for these rehearsals. And I'm trying to build this business online, and I'm trying to do all these things, and I'm just so busy. And I was also drowning. And I also completely lost myself. And I also couldn't hear my own voice of intuition anymore. So I speak from a place of compassion and love for where you are, if you're the one that needs to hear this today. So the next time that someone asks you, "How are you?" before you just answer, "I'm so busy," take some responsibility for what you're about to answer. Can you shift your perspective? Can you see your own responsibility in what the schedule of your day looks like? And perhaps you might even tune in to your being and ask how it is. Not everyone is truly asking you how you are. They're expecting you to just say, "I'm fine. I'm busy, but I'm fine. We're good." And if you are satisfied with those surface level conversations for the rest of your life, then you don't even need to listen to the rest of this episode. And that's fine. But for me, I just can't with shallow, meaningless conversation. I want to go deeper. I want to truly connect. And if you're a person who I feel a connection with on some level, and you ask me how I am, I would like to speak in truth. I may not tell you everything, depending on our level of relationship, but doesn't it feel better to honestly connect with other humans than to just exchange our niceties because we feel like we're supposed to? What's the point? Really? So that you feel like you were pleasant to that person? Why? What's the point of that? Really, I'm asking. Because if you really wanted to be pleasant with that person, you'll be a little more present with that person. And maybe you'll ask from a genuine place of, "How are you?" And I might answer you with, "Good, learning lessons every day. I am expanding, ups and downs. But ultimately, like my state of being, I'm grateful. Of course, every day does have its ups and downs. But even if you can't do it with other people, can you do it with yourself? What would happen if once a day you checked in with your being and asked, "How are you?" Can you name 3 words that describe how you're feeling in this moment? The fun thing is, if you do this at different points throughout your day, those 3 words can change quite a bit, depending on where you are and what you've experienced that day. And sometimes you can be experiencing two polar opposite feelings in the same moment, things that don't seem to fit together. But if you start to get curious about how you really are, then naturally you begin to take a little more interest in how others actually are. And I'm not saying we all need to dump our feelings out on the table when somebody says, "How are you?" But this episode is just to give you a glimpse at what real connection actually looks and feels like, because you have to feel it with yourself first before you even know how to do that with another person. So my challenge to you today is this: begin checking with yourself even once a day. How are you? What are you feeling? Those voices want to be noticed. They want you to feel what they're trying to communicate to you. And a lot of times, once they've been acknowledged, they kind of just process themselves on out and they don't need to be felt and seen anymore. But if we're never pausing long enough to acknowledge how we are feeling, that's when the static starts to build up louder and louder. And if you tune out those internal signals for long enough, you actually forget what they sound like. And that can lead to all sorts of disasters, which we've talked about on this podcast before. And the reason why I share these with you is because it doesn't have to go there. It doesn't have to end in a big medical diagnosis. It doesn't have to get to collapsing into panic attacks on the floor and losing your voice. It doesn't have to get to questioning the purpose of your existence. Although I love that. It's so juicy. But before we get to that, if you just develop a practice of checking in with yourself regularly and asking, "How are you?" But truly, watch how your world just deepens and richens on a daily basis. Watch how your connections with others get so much richer. You have so much more real connection with other humans, and that is such a rich and delicious life when you're truly able to connect with other humans. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to put on a different mask with each person you see. It's so liberating. And I want that for you and myself as well. So we'll keep working on it. Until next time, Starlight, keep shining your brilliance, and I will see you next week. Thank you for tuning into Star Potential with Julie Jo Hughes. If this episode resonates with you, I invite you to take 2 seconds, scroll down and click 5 stars on the rating. It's a fast and easy way to help the show gain exposure and momentum. If you're loving the show, I invite you to leave a quick review about what you love. Reviews are like gold to podcasters, and to show my gratitude, you'll be entered to win my monthly giveaway when you send me a screenshot of your review. I also made you a gift. It's a 9-minute simple gratitude meditation with singing to help you practice mindfulness. Just visit me on Instagram at @TheJulieJo or find the link in the show notes. Thank you for your love and support. Until next time, keep shining your light. And that's a wrap.